So now you can see I min raise here with threes. I get, I'm just trying to think what happens here. I start looking at Pavlovich's numbers, but you can see when the final table started, he was at a 30 something, and now he's at, whatever. So I flat call here, trying to hit a set again. I was explaining that earlier. I'm not really willing to go crazy with this guy because I just think he's going to give me chips in so many ways, especially later on. I kind of figured he'd give me chips. I don't need to put myself in super marginal spots, so I just folded against him. I just think it's the better thing to do. Now you see I opened pre. I didn't actually, because some more of this hand got cut off than should have. But I opened pre with eights. He flat called and out of the blinds and then checked to me, and I bet, and he ends up calling. And the turn's a jack. It's a pretty good card for me. I don't bet again, though, because to me, he's got either something I'm crushing or something that beats me badly. So he's, he could have a lower pair, which is probably his likely holding. He could have a 7 or 3 or 2 even because of the way he plays. He could call me with ace high. Like, he really could have lots of things. But I check the turn just to give him a chance to bluff the river. And I also keep the pot under control against like a maniac like this. I just think it's just better to not go crazy, not blow pots, and not try to build them big when you only have one pair. So I check the river. The river's a jack. Based on how he plays, I'm pretty sure he always puts a jack here on the river, trying to get some value out of it. So I think I'm good here, like a lot, often. So I'm basically, I think I'm bet folding here. I don't think I'm going to call it check raise, but I hadn't really thought about it because I just really didn't think he was ever going to check raise. So I bet, I think 75K exactly. And he basically calls, which is good for me. Obviously, he had exactly what I thought he had. He actually had sixes. I don't think it showed up, but I can tell you he had sixes. So now again, we have Netix, who I said earlier, I was only going to 3-bet with a hand, but I don't know how to play this one any different. He's got under 20 big blinds, and I could flat here and play. I'm pretty sure if I flat here, Pavlovich always calls. I don't really want to play three-way. I think just taking a player out and stuff makes lots of sense. I don't know why Netix is raise folding here. It just doesn't make any sense. But I chose to put in a raise. I mean, there's always a chance, too, that Pavlovich might spaz out, too. Or even the Liqueur might jam because, he's played with me for so long and watched me 3-bet this guy so many times. But because he's short, the table's going to fold a lot. And not much is going to happen. So he ends up folding, and that's it. I take a small pot, and I'm fine with it. So here I have ace-king suited again. Pavlovich opens again. He was doing that often. And I raised from the small blind. And for the first part, often he would fold to me. There was that 7s hand that he 4-bet me, and it's all the more reason I think the 7s was a good 4-bet. So here's pocket 8s. This is another interesting hand. He min raises again. Pocket 8s is way ahead of his min raising range. But, being at 70 big blinds deep, or he has 70 effective, basically. I have 90 almost. I just don't want to 3-bet here and then be faced with some kind of tough decision post-flop. Because I have position on him, I can call, and then he's going to have to play against me. So I call, and then the Liqueur calls. He started calling a lot of hands. I mean, he's got 40 big blinds. It's not a terrible call on his part, but just with the shorter stacks, I didn't think he would do stuff like that. But, I mean, he did anyways. And it's a kind of a safe flop for my hand. I chose not to bet just because I thought, basically my theory was half the deck would help me, half the deck wouldn't. So I just chose to check, thinking that, we'll see what happens on the turn. After the Liquor bets 40K on the turn, and Pavlovich calls, and to me, a jack is within their range too often, one of the two of them, and I just didn't want to call. I thought if they called and they didn't have it, they might slow down on the river, but I just thought with such a marginal spot, it just didn't seem right to guess, and I just took the conservative approach. Now, Liqueur checks and Pavlovich bets. It feels to me like he missed his flush draw or something. But I don't even know if the Liqueur had anything to call. I don't think he had a jack. Because I don't think he would have ever folded a jack. So I don't know what he played there. It just doesn't make sense.